Howdy, 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 howdy.
How are you?
I'm very well for a guy who's just been called a bunch of names.
I saw that. Wow. Okay. Nice to know.
Yeah, really. I wonder if I ought to introduce him to my niece.
Is
Yeah.
she a real one?
Oh, yes. She's a real one.
Oh.
Born in Greensboro, North Carolina, to my baby 6-foot-tall sister. Not only that, her biological father, not a relation, has the same last name as I do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Hi,
Welcome
guys.
to the 14th episode of the KetovoreKast. I'm hosting tonight. I'm that psycho Brett, and down below me on my screen is that really attractive and very nice and knowledgeable
Nice.
Miss Amber Wentworth of the Wentworths in Texas, and we appreciate y'all coming out. I'm a little discombobulated. It's been a discombobulated kind of week.
Yes.
And we're going to get into some of that here in a little bit. But on a positive note, I want to encourage everybody to check out the KetovoreKast YouTube page, because all this is uploaded. All these Instagram lives we do are uploaded to the KetovoreKast page. And we appreciate folks coming by and spreading the word.
For sure.
And we got some interviews coming up.
Yeah.
I think you just told me about you're doing a do-over, aren't you?
Yeah. With Carnomad, yep. The first one, the audio and the sound was wonky. And it was such a good interview. It was with my husband and I. And it was so good. And so it was so sad. And we're going to kind of try to redo some of that. So, yeah.
Well,
that'll be Saturday.
I expect that it will be just as outstanding, if not more so, than the first time, because I listened to and watched all of that because I'm a sucker for punishment.
Yeah.
But I was able, because you got to remember, I got a recording studio here. I have ways to make things a little more easier to hear and understandable that everybody else doesn't have access to. So it was fantastic, and your husband was spectacular.
Thank you.
Kudos to Bob. And so I'm looking forward to that. Saturday at noon Eastern time, I'm going to be interviewing a grass-fed girl, Caitlin herself, and then for Instagram Live that will be uploaded to my Thankful Carnivore YouTube page. And then after that, Caitlin's going to interview me for her YouTube page.
Yeah, and I did an interview with her too, and wouldn't you know, the sound was wonky.
Yes,
so
it was crazy.
On that. Yeah, what is it? I don't know. I think I'm jinxed or something. I'm not exactly sure.
I will remember. I was watching that. I was really enjoying it, and all of a sudden, it was just your lips were moving, and I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's when or if that's going to come out, but yeah. Such a bummer.
Listen, we appreciate folks stopping by. If you ever have any questions while we're talking, don't hesitate to ask. As soon as one of us sees it, we will take the time to answer your question to the best of our ability. Or if we don't know the answer, we'll try to point you to somebody who does. I got to share a quick story. Hey there, Bob. I talked about the last time about, wanting to be able to give out cards out to people. Because there was the lady that I saw at the gym that day, and she was looking so defeated. You could tell she was miserable, frightened, and frustrated.
Yeah.
And I offered her some encouragement, and I remember thinking, I wish I had these cards. Well, my wife made some up, and I actually got to give one to a gentleman yesterday.
That's awesome.
And he was obviously, he hadn't been working out very long. And he was struggling a little bit, but his attitude was great. And so I just went along and handed him a card and said, you just keep doing the best you can one day at a time. And I think it's just so important that when we get these chances to encourage other people, especially new people starting out.
Absolutely.
Just be as positive as you could be, because for a new person who's obese, who hasn't exercised in God knows how many decades,
Yep.
it's uncomfortable.
It is. Been there, done that. Mm-hmm.
And so any bit of encouragement that we can offer folks when we see them, please don't hesitate to do so. Let's see. Relatives and illness updates. You can go first.
Okay, well, I mentioned before that my mom has breast cancer, and she had the surgery to remove the lumps and also a lymph node. And the lymph node did have cancer in it as well. So they did some further testing. It's some kind of a genetic testing to see what her chances are of the cancer coming back. And it's an 84 point something chance of it coming back in the next 5 years. So they said, oh yes, you're going to have chemo, because if this particular cancer, whatever it is, comes back in a different area, it will kill you. So she, on Tuesday, she had surgery again because she had to have some hematomas removed and a drain put in from the previous surgery. And also she has a chemo port in her other side, her other breast or whatever. So in a couple of weeks, when she's healed up, they'll start the chemo. So yeah, not the news we were wanting, but
I'm very sorry that is so. But I am encouraged by the fact that we know she's not consuming any sugar of any kind now to feed any cancer cells. That's so exactly important. Right. Let me ask you this. Has any of her doctors recommended she go on a ketogenic diet?
No.
Wow. That's shocking.
Well, you know, she lived in the Dallas area and she had a different doctor. So when she moved down here, she's on like a million different medications. She's got Hashimoto's and high blood pressure, you name it. Believe it or not, she doesn't have diabetes, but she has everything else. But so she had to find a different doctor and then them get to know her, and she's got, you know, literally this bag of medicine she takes. So it's just one step at a time. And right now she's dealing with, I don't know, like 8 different people. You know, between the oncologist, the radiologist, the surgeon, it's crazy. And so it's kind of in a crazy place right now. The doctor just doesn't know her. And, you know, to be honest, I don't think he has the time to dedicate to worrying about that kind of stuff. I'll be honest with you. I just don't see that happening. Maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I am. But right now, no.
Well, I hope that things get a little less crazy in that regard, and
yes.
I'm experiencing something similar, but in very different ways. I'm experiencing it from 1,000 miles away with my dad. He had his first dialysis experience today, and he did well. His appointment was at 6:15 in the morning. So needless to say, him and my mom, who's also 81, she's in very good health, actually, they were wore out. Just absolutely worn out. And it's a 4-hour thing. You just don't go get hooked up and then 15 minutes later unhook and you're done. It takes 4 hours. He's extremely weak, just on the fact that his kidneys are down to 11% function.
Oh, wow.
All from type 2 diabetes.
That's so scary. And it's something that could have been prevented.
Exactly. And it may be a good thing in some ways that I'm so far away, because if I could cross paths with his doctor.
I know. It's so frustrating.
The redneck that's buried down deep within me might seep out at that point. I'm telling you, because how in this day and age, with all that is known, I mean, we know it. We're a little out of the mainstream because we're into all this neck deep, day in and day out. But so are millions of other people now, because people are tired of suffering.
Yeah.
How can a physician or registered dietitian, I want to lump them together in this regard, have such a lack of curiosity? Why are my people getting sicker and fatter and worse off when they're being compliant patients.
Exactly. Because I think deep down, they must think that they're not being compliant, and they're making excuses because this is what they're taught. So it's got to be right. And this is what we know for, 50 whatever years. So it's got to be right. They must be doing something wrong. Just like obese people, they are the problem. They're lazy. They're eating too much. And, yeah.
It's really shocking to me. And
I agree.
I just, basically the sad part about it is with my father is he's not really going to get better.
Right.
This is just giving him more time on this side of the grass, which we're grateful for.
Right.
But if there was ever an example of somebody who's literally eating himself to death, and I'm not talking about being obese, I'm not talking about being, just all he had to do was change his diet. Yeah. And no medical professional ever suggested it.
Yeah.
It's just terrifying.
I agree. I find it so frustrating. I was talking to my mom the other day, and I'm just like, who can we sue for this? Because, we've been given this bad information from the government to the American Diabetic Association to the, all these associations. They all have the same bad information. And so many things could have been prevented. And
now, are you bad-mouthing these cherished institutions of science and humanity?
Yeah, I kind of am. Yeah.
Those
especially
corrupt ones that are
the
for
ones
sale?
that recommend, you eat all these carbs. And, yeah.
Primal Void says type 2 diabetes, really, we've been lied to forever. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right, sir.
That it can't be cured, that once you have it, you have it. That, to me, is so disturbing. When you could do something so simple as fix your diet. Okay, granted, there's some people who are so far gone that that's probably not possible. I'm sure it would still help, though. But the ones that didn't even ever have to suffer and to begin with, that's just not forgivable.
And hey, an article came out on NPR radio's website. Back in the 50s, the sugar companies made a deal with the researchers, and I don't have all the details committed to memory yet, but basically what it was, where sugar worked out a deal to where fat would become the enemy of humanity and not sugar. Sugar people would be off the hook.
Right.
And when you read that, I had to quit. I couldn't even finish reading the third paragraph. I got so angry. Mm-hmm. And just do it, search for NPR sugar to make fat bad, whatever wording along those lines, and you can read it.
I don't think I read that one yet.
It's shocking. Wow. It is shocking. I posted a link on my Facebook page, and I posted a link to it on Twitter. If you could post links easier at our lowly rate on Instagram, we would be sharing the link right now with everybody.
We can put it in the link on the YouTube, though.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can do that.
Okay, very good. That's right, we can. So if y'all believe in the power of prayer, pray for our parents. If you're not into prayer, just send us some positive thoughts and energy. We greatly appreciate it.
I'll take that too. Yeah.
Let's see. How's the bone broth experiment going?
Well, I just got one of them.
Hold on a second. Oh. Let's explain.
Okay.
How long's it been? It's been over a month now, hasn't it?
Maybe. I didn't actually write down or think about when I started, but I would say probably close to a month, yeah. Okay,
that's what I was thinking, is about a month. So Amber hadn't been drinking bone broth, and so she has for a month. I've been drinking it for right at a year now, and every night, at least 8 to 10 ounces of it every night. Go, Amber. Tell us what's going on with it.
Well, I will say that number one, I find it very comforting, and I just happen to really like it. So, it's kind of surprising to me. I'm not a big fan of warm liquid. I don't like, hot chocolate or hot coffee. I always have to have it with ice or something, and real lukewarm. Yeah, I'm one of those people. But anyway, I really enjoy it. The biggest thing that I've noticed, honestly, is a difference in my skin. I mean, when I look in the mirror, I'm like, ooh, hey, it's looking kind of good, So I'm real happy about that. And my hair, good golly, oh, it's just growing out. Crazy, which that's all good, but I have to keep getting my hair done, It's like, showing the white and stuff. And then my nails go like crazy, which I love that because this is the longest I've ever had my nails in my life. I know I have to show my nails because they're so cool, but I have to get my nails done more often. So, if you want to talk about a negative, but it's
poor thing.
I know, right? My hair, my
Doesn't
nails are on my
everybody's
skin.
Please send your donation. Send your donations to the Poor Amber Fund.
Yeah, so I can get my hair did more often. Yeah.
At weweepforher.org.
Yeah.
That's too funny. Well, I'm glad it's working for you.
I really enjoy it. Yeah.
I can't imagine not drinking some every day. I just can't imagine it now.
Us either, to be honest. My family too. We just got that big old huge roaster. Danielle, his Brett's
just
wife,
like the one that's this one just like it in there.
Yeah. And so I made this whopper size, bone broth, and I had oxtail in it and rib bones and marrow bones and, a bunch of herbs and, that peppercorn and some stuff like that in there. And it's been cooking for 48 hours. And this morning I turned it off and I have them all in nice little containers now. And holy moly, my refrigerator, golly, because I don't use it for much anymore, except for meat. And that goes in my middle drawer. But I have like the whole like big section, the second section of the top part filled with bone broth. It's like, yay.
See,
I was getting really scared there. I was getting low.
Well, several months ago, we got a stand-up freezer, upright freezer. It sits beside the fridge. And that was supposedly to store meat in, because we were going to look and invest for buying a quarter of a cow or whatever we could find, try to buy some bulk, save some money. And then my wife, Danielle, started making this bone broth in such huge quantities that that second freezer now is where the bone broth is stored primarily.
Yep, we're going to move some into the freezer after I let it gel up and everything, so then I'll freeze it, but yeah.
Oh, but it is so soothing.
It is. If y'all haven't done the homemade kind, it just, the kind in the cartons or the, dry packets, oh no, just no. That's what I used to use, for like bases for soups or whatever. Oh, just no, it's not the same. Mm-mm.
If you're a carnivore, ketogenic person, low carb, and you still having issues with anxiety, highly recommend you start keeping bone broth on hand. And you feel your anxiety starting to get away from you, drink you a mug of hot bone broth and see if you don't calm down and relax. I mean, it's like nature's gold.
It is
as far
very
as I'm
relaxing.
concerned.
Yeah, it's kind of comforting. I guess it's kind of like that hot tea at night kind of thing. But it's
healthy
filled with good stuff. Yeah. All that collagen and
no oxalates in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's talk about this issue, because you and I have both had barrels of it thrown at us the last couple of weeks. And I know some of you folks in the audience experience this on a regular basis. Roseanne O'Driscoll, one lady, an ex-vegan, who was attacked viciously. Oh, she's amazing. I had the privilege of interviewing her a few weeks ago. You can catch that interview at Thankful Carnivore's YouTube page. But she's abused, harassed daily, and she doesn't attack anybody.
No.
Well, I don't go looking for a fight, but I don't run from one. But here lately, my goodness, the negativity. being splashed across social media has been just incredible.
Yeah.
What have you been experiencing?
Well, okay, I'm the kind of person who I don't do mean things, and it's really hard for me to understand when people do mean things to me, and I just get shocked. I don't fight back really or anything because I'm just like, wait, what? What? Because I was called like, this evil person because I kill animals, and there was this big long paragraph about, me being this horrible person because I eat meat, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I just deleted. I was like, no. And I've had other comments. It's not just even that. It's just, people saying rude stuff like, you don't know what you're talking about, you're stupid, and I'm like, wow. And you have facts to back that up? Okay. It's just why? I wouldn't do that. So, yeah, I don't do that.
It's really been remarkable. And the dietitians who attacked me, they are determined to worm the conversation around to where they can declare I only lost my depression because I lost weight. For some reason, that matters so deeply to them. It couldn't be because I only eat nutrition and stop consuming toxic food and be it sugars, plants, and carbs. No, that couldn't be the reason. It has to be because I lost weight. That's the only reason in life I could lose my depression that way. Not from a diet change.
I didn't lose depression. No, I wasn't clinically depressed. But after I lost all my weight, what was wrong in the inside was still wrong in the inside. So no, losing fat doesn't do that. So sorry.
Yeah,
not mental, but
Well, I lost 94 pounds walking over 3.5 years, low carb. I still had my depression symptoms. I was way out of the danger zone weight-wise by that point. And when I went carnivore, I didn't lose a bunch of weight right off. It's just craziness. No. So where's your evidence? You're just an anecdote. You don't matter. What do you mean I don't matter?
I know.
N equals 1 doesn't count. Well, we're not just N equals 1 anymore. We're N equals thousands. Exactly. Sean Baker just did a real survey that data can be gleaned from.
Yeah.
With over 10,000 respondents.
I was one.
I was one too. And I bet there's people in this audience that responded as well.
I'm sure.
But it doesn't seem to matter to some. And I can't decide if it's because some people choose to almost willfully deprive their brain of nutrition. I'm not going to say which branch of eating participates in that because I am not looking for a fight.
No.
You know who they are.
Oh, yeah.
But I had a group of them. You're just an anecdote, and what we're the World Health Organization, corrupt, for sale to the highest bidder. Yeah, they're a respected institution, and they say X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot of that too. Citing these certain, prestigious, papers and studies and groups and people, and I'm like, yeah.
How's that explain me? How's that explain you, Amber? That's the question they don't want to answer. And with certain, the one group of people who eats that way, the opposite of us, they stop just short of saying, I wish you were still depressed.
I don't really understand that whole thing.
I don't either.
I don't really care what somebody eats. I do because it makes me sad because I want people to be healthy and happy. I don't care who they are. But, I'm not going to tell somebody, oh, you are bad and stupid because you are eating this way that I'm not. I'm not going to force my way of eating. I want to get the information out so people can do their own research and decide for themselves. That's what I want to do. Yes, it'll make me sad if they choose the opposite or whatever. But, if that's what they choose, that's their business. I'm not going to fight them, and I'm not going to call them stupid. Well, okay, maybe not to their face, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, I just don't understand why it has to be such a fight. What are they scared? Why are they threatened? Why
Exactly.
is that so scary? I'm not scared of them.
Exactly.
I don't feel the need to shut them down. I mean,
or shut them up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got several you need to shut the F ups yesterday from various quarters. Of course, you know how well that worked on me.
Yeah.
Here's how I did a thing about this today on my Periscope. Here's my recommendation for everybody. Meet these people with a smile on your face and joy in your heart, because we've already proven that what we're saying works for us. We're living examples. We're a walking, talking, breathing study unto ourselves.
Exactly.
And we're not making declarations that you and everybody else has to eat this way, or you're stupid, or you're going to die. No.
And if it works for them and they really are healthy and that's what they like and it works, hey, go for it. I'm not going to tell you not to.
Exactly.
Or to try to, stop them, stop the movement, but my whole thing is just get information out there so people have a choice. They can decide for themselves what's right. And if it's not right for them, okay. Okay. I'm not going to say it won't make me a little sad, but, okay. And maybe it's not the best for that particular person. I don't know. Not my body, so.
Oh, exactly. And let's face it, with the ketogenic way of eating, there's all these various levels that you could be in a ketogenic diet, and don't resemble each other hardly at all.
Exactly.
I mean,
you gotta find what works for you.
Exactly. And all I want to see in my lifetime is that the carnivore way of eating, ketogenic diets in general, be accepted as viable human alternatives.
Exactly.
For people to learn about, be taught about in our public schools as viable options. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, not that they have to. It's their choice, but the information would be good to have. So when you don't have the information, you don't even know. We didn't know there was an alternative. Okay, I didn't know there was an alternative. I just assumed they must know what they're talking about, and,
Why would they lie to us? Why would they lie to us?
I'm so naive. I bought into that for a very, very long time. Yeah. So I can't blame anybody else for that too. Especially if they don't have the information. How would they know anything different? I had never heard of the ketogenic diet. Never. It was just accidental. I'm sure I would by now that the word is getting out. But beforehand, I had never heard it.
And we all had it pounded into our heads from an early age with cartoons, with all sorts of misinformation. In the Saturday morning cartoons, what were the commercials about? Toys and cereal.
Yeah, cereal. Breakfast, most important meal.
Most important meal of the day. Oh,
I saw that today on a meme. I saw that today on a meme. I did.
Hello, Elizabeth, you fine birthday woman recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
She just had a birthday recently. She's feeling before and after pictures today, looking fine and healthy.
She's rocking it.
Yes, she is. We need to have another meetup soon, Elizabeth. We need to get together and figure that out. Oh, they're outstanding.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm about to organize another one for our area.
Well, we're going to have one soon enough, because that's the only time I ever eat anywhere else outside of the house now.
Well, I can't say that, but...
Elizabeth says she'll always be older than us, so that should make us happy.
It does make me happy, actually. No. I always give my friend a hard time because she's literally 16 days older than me. But I always have to remind her that she is, in fact, older than me. Yeah. She expects it every year, so...
Well, yeah, I have a friend of mine he's maybe 4 months older than me, 5 months older than me. So every year I call him up and say, "You're my oldest, dearest friend. And then he calls me in my birthday to say, it's about time you caught up with me, you slowpoke. We do this dance every year. I want to share something that I'm doing a little bit different with my diet. Now, everybody knows that's been watching and familiar with what I've been talking about. I don't twiddle or tweak. I don't make adjustments as a rule. I have stuck by ironclad to just, this is what I eat. This is all I'm going to eat. It works. I'm not going to mess with it. But it's been 402 days, and my weight has stayed between 177 and 181. Matter of fact, I went from 181 back to 180 here recently, and it stayed at 180 for a few days since I made this change. I decreased my bacon, my fat intake, by 2 slices per meal.
That's so sad.
But there's still lots of bacon there, dear. I was having 10 and 12 slices sometimes.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought I was bad with my 5 to 7, but I only do that once a day.
No, I'm taller and I'm bigger boned than you, darling. Anyway, but I'm exercising. I'm walking 15 to 20 miles a week. I'm not trying to lose weight. I just want to lose the fat around my middle. I want abs. I want them. And I'm working my ass off at the gym to grow them. But this flab's in the way. So knowing what I've been taught, I decreased my fat by those 2 slices of bacon per meal, and I increased my protein by 1 ounce for breakfast and lunch. And I haven't noticed any energy change. I still feel everything is exactly the same. I have lost a little bit of the body fat since I started. It's been almost a week. So, and I don't want to have to walk more miles, or I don't have that kind of time.
Right. Oh gosh. Who has time anymore? Oh my goodness.
So, and I've expanded my weightlifting workout from 20 to 25 minutes to 45 minutes. So, in the way I work out, it's not just weightlifting. There's a serious cardio aspect to it. I do a lot of reps at low weight. So, and I do it quickly, deliberately. Somebody was saying, you need to slow down. No, I don't. I don't want to slow down. I want that. I want that speed. I'm not trying to become Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I want to keep my same body shape and everything. I just want to be as lean and strong as possible.
Oh, I hear you. I've kind of had a weird change in my diet, a little bit, because I was kind of basically eating what you were eating, the hamburger patty and bacon. And I pretty much had that for lunch and dinner. Sometimes at dinner I wouldn't have bacon. I would just have my hamburger patty. But for some reason, and chicken really turned me off. It's like it just didn't appeal to me. Not that it was gross or anything. It just looked like cardboard to me, and it wasn't appealing. Now I want chicken, and I don't know what that's about. But I've been having more chicken lately and not as much hamburger meat, which is kind of weird. And even last night, because my husband wanted some liver and onions, so I cooked it for him. And if anybody follows me at all, I don't like liver meat. No. But I actually ate some. I mean, I had about I don't know, like that much or something. And I actually ate it. Yeah. It wasn't pleasant. I'm not going to lie, but it wasn't disgusting. But, I just gave it a go, whatever. I'm going to keep trying a little bit at a time because I know it is really good for me. It's just not pleasant. But
well, one of the things that we've noticed, my wife and I, and of course we're a few months ahead. We're like a half a year or more ahead of you in carnivory, but her taste in meat has changed. Mine, people see me the bacon and beef. I wasn't always just doing bacon and beef. The first 6 months, but I was doing carnivory. It was the first couple of weeks was steak and eggs, and then it was steak and bacon, and I would have fish, steak, and bacon, maybe a hamburger once in a while, but, it was mostly cuts of London broil and things like this, and I ate pork shoulder. I had quite a variety of meats, but then I stumbled upon, I saw that tube of 90-10 ground beef, and it was like, why does that look so pretty to me? And this is strange, but I must eat all of it. And I'll never forget that first day I ate some of it. It was the most
so
satisfying. I was like, and it's not that it tastes it's delicious, but it's ground beef.
Yeah.
That's a known flavor, but it's so satisfying.
I keep hoping that liver will do that for me. That I would find it really satisfying and good and crave it, but it's just not happening.
Me either. I have no desire for liver. But I think it's really important to point out, Amber, how you're listening to your body.
Yeah.
You're not just changing for the sake of change. You're not changing because you got bored or frustrated or I'm sick of eating that stuff all the time. No, you did it because your body said, hey, why don't we have some chicken?
Yeah, it just sounded really good. I don't know why, but.
And that's one of the things when you stop putting toxins into your body and you pay attention, you're able to discern these things so much easier.
It's true because when you're eating garbage, you have cravings for sugar and the salt and the fat and all that kind of thing, and you can't trust your body because you're not giving your body what it needs to be able to function properly and know what it's doing. But when you start eating only nutrient dense type foods, then you can trust your body again. It's very interesting, I find.
Oh, I agree. Elizabeth, darling, I've tried your liver recipe. She's talking about wrapped with bacon. And my beloved wife, Carnivory Art Life, Danielle, she fixed it and fried it in lard. And bacon couldn't make that liver taste. There's that group of people who eat opposite of us, and they talk about eating dead things all the time. The only time I feel like I've got something dead in my mouth is when I eat liver. So help me. It's like just, I don't know what it is, but
I can eat it. I mean, I can, obviously. I did last night. But like I said, it's not pleasant. I don't like the texture. I don't like the taste. There's pretty much nothing I like about it at all. Just nothing. But you know what? It's still not as vile as sardines. And it's so funny because people just freak out over that. You don't like sardines? And I'm like, oh, good God, that stuff is vile. Blah, blah.
I don't know that I've ever had them. I really don't recall that if I ever did or not.
Well, if you like fishy stuff, it's fine. I mean, if you can, eat a can of the cheapest tuna you can find and find that appealing, you might be all right. Me, I can't even eat canned tuna. Even the white stuff. I can't do it. I can eat fresh tuna if it's fresh and it's grilled, and I want it cooked pretty much all the way through. Yes, I know that's bad, but I do. But I can't. No fishy stuff. No salmon roe. That was another thing. Sardines and salmon roe. I'll tell you what. I will eat a beef heart. I will eat a chicken heart. I will eat liver. I will eat gizzards. And all this other weird stuff that I've tried before I will ever eat sardines or salmon roe again.
That salmon roe just looks completely unappetizing to me.
No, it's just pretty.
Totally.
No, it's really, really pretty. It's like, like these little beads.
It doesn't even look like food to me. I want to show that Elizabeth gave me this when she and I and my wife had lunch with her several months ago. It was very kind of her. It was a nice little gift. And I just want Elizabeth to know that's not real salt in it now. Today it's got Celtic salt in it. And if you're wondering if you see me put something in my mouth, I'm kind of not, I don't want to say snacking on it. I'm trying to do a little cramp prevention for bedtime tonight. And this Celtic salt has, on paper now, from independent people who no vested interest, supposedly, theoretically, they tested all three: Celtic salt, real salt, and Himalayan pink. And the Celtic has more magnesium in it. But I like the taste of all of them, but I like the Celtic just a little bit better because I think it's because it's not a dry salt. It's kind of moist. It's got moisture in it. It's a little buttery.
Interesting.
It's got a little buttery flavor to it. And I posted a picture on my page, Instagram, asking people what they prefer. Hello, daughter, I haven't talked to yet. Although I did meet her once in a glimpse over your shoulder one day,
Yes,
didn't I?
you did. Yeah.
But everybody likes what they like. There's not been,
Yeah.
it's been pretty well split, right? I don't want to say down the middle because there's three choices there, but it seems to be pretty even what people are liking. Everybody likes what they like.
Yeah. I really like the real salt. I'm pretty impressed with that, and I like that it has so much minerals in it. So, yeah.
Oh, they all taste great. I recommend all of them just for the flavor alone and the fact that they are, all three have way more natural minerals in them than iodized salt. Plus, it doesn't have that iodization and all that crap put in with it.
Yeah.
We got about 19 minutes left. We appreciate so many of you coming in. Folks moving around tonight. There's a whole lot of social stuff going on. We appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Went live. You missed
I
that.
know. I know I did.
I saw it pop up, and I was like, oh.
I saw it pop up too. But that's okay because the world is big enough for all of us to be heard.
For us little peons. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's see. Oh. You're fine.
Okay, there you go. Okay, you were frozen.
You were fine. Nobody changed on my screen whatsoever.
Okay, cool. All right.
The problem, the vortex is in Texas again. Your dog, you got a grandbaby.
Yes,
and your grandbaby's not eating any of that sugar-rich nonsense formula, is it?
No, I'm really very, very proud of my daughter. The baby is breastfed. That's her primary. And she didn't ever go to cereal like most babies. And unfortunately, I feel horrible, but that's what I did to my daughter because I didn't know any better. And she did the cereal thing. And then we also gave her those little puffy snacks and those little, what do you call those little Melba looking things that they chew on.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Mushy. It's like a hard bread, like a biscotti or something. It's kind of like that. I didn't know. And, little goldfish looking things and little finger foods and stuff. But my daughter is doing basically very similar to what Ken Berry's going to do with their baby. And toast. My husband popped in and said it's called toast. But yeah.
Hi, Bob.
But she's doing the baby-led weaning for the most part. So the baby chooses. You give them food that's appropriate for them. And like she's tried, like eggs and chicken and just some stuff like that. And so far, so good. And still, she mostly does breast milk even now. Sometimes we give her solid food, sometimes we don't. It just kind of depends, and if she feels like it or not. But yeah, I'm really proud of her because I think my granddaughter's going to have a lot healthier of a life than I did because she's going to have better knowledge, and
oh man,
better, than I did, or even my daughter. I feel really bad about that, but I didn't know.
We didn't know. I mean, I wouldn't, I raised kids, we wouldn't have fed them that stuff. We wouldn't have let them near it if we had known.
Yeah, no.
But we didn't know what we didn't know. And
that's exactly right. That's why we do what we do, is to give people the opportunity to know there might be something different. Now, they can choose not to, that's fine. But at least they would have the information that maybe there's something different. Maybe there's a better way. Maybe there's a healthier way. So.
Yeah, that's the key to all of this is there are alternatives other than what we've been told.
Yes.
We're told, no, if you don't eat like this, you'll die. Well, we're living proof that's not so. And we have members of our audience here in chat who've been living this way far longer than us, who are even greater testaments to the fact that that's a bunch of crap. That you can thrive on a meat-only diet, and not just thrive,
for sure,
but I mean blossom like a brand new flower. I mean, it's just spectacular.
Yeah.
people say all the time to me, are you always smiling? And, yeah, I am. And you're a witness. You see me at all hours of the
no,
you've
he really
seen
is
me.
like that.
Elizabeth's seen me in person. I'm like this, just exactly. Hello, tall redhead lady. And it's because it's genuine healing. I'm 58 years old and I don't hurt anywhere.
Yep, I'm 53 and I don't hurt.
I couldn't say that when I was 25. I hurt all over the place then because I was inflamed and didn't know it.
Yeah.
It's just so incredible what your grandchild is going to get to experience purely because she's being taught to only consume nutrition.
Yeah.
And, we see these articles, Tall Redhead saying she's 32 still with pain. Well, I would expect you're not done healing, my dear, as I recall. That's right. You're going to get rid of it. Just takes time. We all heal at different speeds for different reasons.
Yep.
And that's why for
I'm still healing.
Oh, yeah. So you new people, it's so important to remember. Just because some of us got better in a few days or a few weeks, that's not an indication that that's going to happen with everybody. It's so specific to the person. How sick you were when you started, how old you were, how wrecked your metabolism was, how messed up your hormones were. Can we discuss getting started and with tips or advice? You want to go first, Amber? You want me to take it?
Are you talking about the ketogenic diet in general, or are you talking specifically carnivore? Because that kind of makes a difference.
Well, Tall Redhead says she's been losing jiggle. Very good. Progress is progress. She's been losing some jiggle.
Oh, jiggle. Yay. Hate that.
You know why? Jiggle.
Lose.
It's always good to lose jiggle. I was glad to lose my jiggle, believe me.
Yeah. I want my jiggle gone.
Yeah. Okay, carnivore, please.
Okay.
Go ahead, Amber.
Well, honestly, the way I did it, I have done everything in a progression. So for me personally, it was much easier. I was low carb, then I went keto, then I did intermittent fasting, then I moved into carnivore. But when I moved into carnivore, I started out still doing dairy because as far as I knew, dairy wasn't an issue, and eating eggs as well as meat. So I did kind of all the animal type foods for the most part. I had cheese. That kind of thing. And then for some reason, I kind of just started to not really much care about that. So I kind of started eliminating some. And then I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go with just meat and see what happens. And then maybe later reintroduce and see if I actually do have an issue with those foods. So in other words, what I'm saying personally for me, progression was what worked for me. I started cutting out a little more, like that. So that is personally what I recommend doing. And if you're one of these people who are, just jump all in, okay, go for it, but you might be in for some pain. I'm just saying. So it's kind of, up to you. And basically, and I'm sure Brett will tell you, is you eat what you crave and you can afford. So if you like hamburger meat, like what we kind of settled on for the most part, except for kind of here recently kind of being a little weird, but it's something that is very affordable and it was satisfying to us. Now I'm kind of wanting to branch out a little bit because I'm kind of craving chicken. So, but still chicken is affordable and, so it doesn't have to be this, you only eat grass fed, period. And you only eat beef. You can't have anything else. And you can't have, dairy. You can't have this, whatever. It just do what works for you. And in the time that, you need to do it in. For me, it was gradual. I'm just saying. And I never had an issue. So.
Okay. I was low carb for 3.5 years before I went to zero carb carnivore. So, my first recommendation is do 30 days low carb before you try carnivore. If you go straight from a sad diet to carnivore, you're setting yourself up to fail. You're setting yourself up for an extremely uncomfortable experience that will frustrate you beyond belief.
Yes.
We'll deal with that fasting issue in a minute. Just be patient. Let's finish answering this question here real quick. I recommend, first off, if you're on Facebook, go join the Zeroing In on Health Facebook group right now, because there are veterans of this way of eating, people that have been eating this way 10 years or more. They've got an enormous amount of useful, helpful information. They've got experience. They can answer questions that Amber and I wouldn't have a clue about. They're very specific. That's all they talk about is carnivory. There's no discussions allowed about other ways of eating. They do that specifically to keep things focused on this is how they do carnivore. And that's where I learned to do it. And I was told.
And they have a beginner's guide too.
Yeah, and I was told if you do these things, which I'm about to share, you're going to experience what I've experienced. And what they told me was, only eat when you're hungry. When you're hungry, you eat until you're not another bite full. And you know when that point hits, when you're just eating meat, I literally cannot swallow.
Yes.
I can't swallow again. Once I get full, there's no room. I don't even want it in my mouth. I spit it out in the dog's bowl. Only eat the meat you crave and can afford, not the meat that somebody on the internet eats, or because so-and-so lost 80 pounds and their depression symptoms in 4 days. You don't want to eat what somebody else eats. Listen to your body. Eat what you crave and can afford. Stop putting sweet taste into your mouth immediately. That ends the sugar cravings. No stevia, no substitutes. Forget that crap, because all that does is cause your body to insulin spike anyway. And that's part of the metabolic nightmare that we're trying to heal ourselves of. Those are my suggestions. And most importantly, be patient.
Yes, for sure.
Patient.
Yes. Because you see all these people, they're having all these great results. And for me, to be honest, I have actually gained a little bit of weight on carnivore. And I know that's just the transitional thing I'm going through or whatever. It's very common, especially with women, from what I understand. But, not everybody's going to have the exact same results. So just don't worry about that. Have patience for sure. I hate that word too, but, it's the truth. You do.
Okay. Somebody says, I have read that fasting is not recommended when doing carnivore. True, false, why? Okay. Go ahead, Amber.
Okay. I don't have an issue with fasting. I'll be honest with you. I've done quite a bit of fasting. Matter of fact, I fast every day. I intermittent fast. I do at least 16 hours. Most of the time it's more like 18. Sometimes it's even 20. And I used to do longer fasts, but I no longer do that because on carnivore, I can't. I get hungry. And the thing is, with fasting, it shouldn't be painful. If you are starving, then you're not ready to do that. But if you can do it on carnivore, I see no issue why you can't. I think it has a lot of good benefits to it. Autophagy, for one. But if your body is, oh my God, I'm starving, and you're denying that, I don't think it's a good thing on carnivore to do that. It should be natural. I eat when I'm hungry, and I shouldn't necessarily say I intermittent fast. It's just natural. Because I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. So,
that's an important distinction you made there. It's so important. Repeat it, please.
I don't consciously intermittent fast. I'm not like putting in my calculator, okay, I haven't, it hasn't been 16 hours, so, I can't eat yet. No, I don't do that anymore. I go by when I'm hungry. Today I ate a little bit later, because my grandbaby was just not cooperating at the time, lunchtime. So I didn't get to eat until 1:30 or something. I was hungry. But I don't do it on purpose, I guess is what I'm saying. But,
Listen, I just explained the basics of how to do carnivory. And that first rule that I was taught, that was the paramount rule. I remember Charles Washington, the leader of Zeroing In on Health. emphasizing this so specifically. If you don't do this, none of the rest of this stuff happens. You only eat when you're hungry. Now that covers the fasting question. If we only eat when we're hungry, where's fasting?
Yeah,
now, if you're not hungry, but a couple of times a day, I mean, I'm only hungry 3 times a day. That's just 3 times a day I'm hungry.
Twice for me.
If you're only, see, that's already intermittent fasting.
Mm-hmm.
Denying yourself nutrition when your body craves it is not a healthy activity in most cases. For some morbidly obese people, we only got 4 minutes left. For morbidly obese people under the care of a physician, it can be a useful tool. That's the only situation I recommend it in. And I want to say something to Very Blessed Mess. This person says they've done low carb and keto as well, but currently have gained it all back, almost 100 to lose. I cannot recommend enough to you that you go low carb for 30 days, throw your scale away. Forget the scale. Just focus on adapting to a lower carb way of eating, and then come jump on the carnivore train for 90 days and see how you feel.
Yeah, give it a go. And if it doesn't work, hey, fine. Keto diet is awesome too. Your standard keto diet. But yeah, it's a really great thing for an elimination diet, and that's kind of why I did it somewhat. And you learn a lot about your body. It's really kind of cool. But
Tall Redhead says the dumb arbitrary time frames are not a good idea. Yeah, they're not natural.
Yeah.
We get hungry when we get hungry. 150,000 years ago, people weren't looking at their Apple Watch going, well, geez, my eating window's about up. No, they didn't.
Yeah. It seems kind of weird, and I did it a lot more on the keto diet because I wasn't hungry. I was never hungry. I could go, easy 20 hours a day and not even think about food. Sometimes I could go all day. Sometimes I didn't eat in a day. I wasn't hungry. And so it was very natural for me. On carnivore, I find I'm hungry. I will say that I found that very disturbing at first because of, just being such a food addict. But, now it's twice a day, but I have to eat those twice a day. I mean, I don't think I can go longer. So.
You're very welcome. We appreciate you asking and your comment. We thank everybody for coming by tonight.
Thank y'all for coming.
We've only got a couple minutes left. Emery, you got anything else coming up? Any other places where people could check you out? You've got a YouTube page, don't you?
Yes, I do. Lone Star Keto. It's on YouTube, and I upload all my videos there. And you can find me on Twitter, lone_star_keto. Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
___.
I don't know why I did that, but yeah.
You can find me at Thankful Carnivore on Facebook, Thankful Carnivore on YouTube, of course here at Thankful.Carnivore on Instagram, and on Twitter where the meat-eating savages run crazy wild.
Yes.
It's Stickman Bleeding. That's StickmanBleedin. We appreciate you all hanging with us. We're going to be uploading this to KetovoreKast YouTube page tomorrow. Come back and check us again the next time. Eat your meat, drink your water, be honest, don't lie, and oh yes, be thankful.
Thanks for coming, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.